Hey everyone, welcome back to Poplar Preparedness. Today we're going to walk through some of the numbers of why opening up the Keystone Pipeline and expanding oil and gas in the United States won't actually help you that much at the pump right now if we continue to exclude the bear's oil from the world market. And I'm going to walk you through just basics of how shortages and prices work, because this applies to a lot of what's going on right now. A lot of this channel is about shortages, but then sometimes we don't realize that shortages create price increases. And we're going to walk through that real fast here in a super easy way to understand with little cool diagrams. All right, so on a basic market, whether this is oil or whether this is food products or whatever, cheese, cream cheese, all the things that you're looking for right now, canning jars. Imagine, if you will, that there are 10 factories making whatever that is. I'm going to call it a widget, okay? Making a widget for $50 a piece. And then they're selling it to the consumers for $100 a piece. So they're making $50 worth of profit, or $50 to pay their employees or whatever. At this price, only 10 factories really find it profitable to make this item. Or maybe they're the only ones who can make it for whatever reason. And they're making 1 million of these, and they're selling those 1 million widgets to 1 million customers who love their products. All right? This is a system in balance, so to speak, right? Now let's throw a wrench in the system, okay? Let's say that 3 of those factories shut. Let's make things simple. 5 of the factories shut down. So we now have 5 factories making 500,000 widgets, but yet there's still 1 million people who want to buy it for $100, right? They want to buy it for $100. So you're either going to have one of two things happen here. Half of those 1 million people are going to go to the store and there's just no product there. They're just going to get unlucky and they're not going to be able to buy the product. Or what has to happen here is we need to increase the number of factories producing the product, or we need to decrease the amount of people that are purchasing this item. So how do we do this? In capitalism, what we do is the price starts going up. Let's say it goes up to $200. This is the suppliers or the stores communicating to the buyer that there's a scarcity here. So this should only go to the people who really, really want the product. And so in this example here, you lose some of the people. They don't want to buy it. So there's only 500,000 people willing to purchase it at that price. So 500K products for 500K people who are willing to pay the $200, yet you still have the same factories, right? Still, the production is the same. But when this happens, look how much money these factories are making now. They're making $150 per widget that they make. What are they going to be incentivized to do? Make more widgets, because oh man, at $150, they can pay that employee overtime. They can put a whole nother shift on. They might want to actually invest in these 5 companies, might want to actually double their production each, which will get us back up to equivalent of 1 million widgets being made. But now there's only 500,000 people willing to pay $200 for the widget. So what's going to happen? There's going to now be too many widgets. We're back up to 1 million widgets, but only 500,000 people willing to buy. So the price is going to have to start coming down, or else there's just going to be a whole bunch of widgets sitting around. So they're going to go on sale. And they're going to go on sale, say, down to $50, down to $100 again. Which, of course, 500,000 people have been sitting on the sidelines, and they're going to want to come back in, and they're going to want to start buying widgets at $100, and we are back up here maybe with 5 factories that are producing the 1 million now. And that's how shortages and price increases get dealt with in the market. Now what we're experiencing right now is we've just, through sanctions, decreased the amount of oil in the world. If these sanctions really do bite, and it's hard to tell how much they're actually being enforced because we have companies buying up the oil on the side and all that. Russia produces 11 million barrels of oil per day. And we're just saying oil, we're not talking about gas, I guess, because it's just trying to keep things simple. The United States only produces 14 million barrels per day. Yeah, we make more than they do. Canada produces 4.5 million barrels per day. Now, those, depending on which year, and it's always going to fluctuate a little bit there, but that's the rough ballpark figure. So we have to replace, we basically have 11 million barrel per day coming offline. And this is what we're seeing here now. We're seeing the prices at the pump going up to make people use their gasoline or their oil more efficiently. So the price is going up and people need to stop using quite so much oil or this is going to be a problem. Or we need to increase production, which is what people are suggesting. But the simple fact is that the Keystone Pipeline is not going to bring on 11 million barrels per day oil online. Drilling more in the United States, we're not going to be able to bring on 11 million barrels per day online. That's just crazy talk. We may be able to bring, over the next several years, maybe 2 million barrels per day oil online. If we can twist the Saudis' arms enough to get them to up their production by 1, maybe as much as 2, okay, that's 4. Canada may be able to go up 1 million barrels per day if we have a pipeline for them to get their oil out of Canada. The green folks up in Canada are not allowing any new pipelines from central Canada over to the coast. And then the Greens in the United States are keeping them from bringing that oil down through the Central Plains and such like that, down to the refineries down in Texas. So we have this situation, and there's just a massive decrease in the amount of product available out there, and that's going to squeeze the price up. Now, how much money is going to be required here, price-wise, in order to get... It's going to take whatever it takes in order to get this number of people buying down to the amount of oil there is. Now, think about that. Most people that drive need to drive. Now, there's some people who are driving just for the fun of it, using oil for other things, but almost 50% of a barrel of oil is not used for gasoline, diesel, or kerosene. It's used for making plastics like this. And the ink in this is probably petroleum-based. It's 50% of it's used for other products, stuff that people need to buy. That means the price of everything is going to go up. These markers, petroleum-based plastics and inks and everything like that, but then this has to be shipped using diesel. That's how I get it. So the price of everything is going to have to go up until people stop buying. Or, because production just cannot go up that much that fast. And the United States is one of the main swing producers. Saudi Arabia has been historically a swing producer, and honestly Russia's been one of the swing producers as well. But they're being blocked out of the market, and so this is what we're having here. And the price is just going to keep going up. It's not that the stores are gouging. It's either... Now, what often happens is the government will step in here and they're going to force the price to stay the same. They're going to force the price to... So we have 500K widgets, but still the $100 price tag. 50% of the people in this example are going to go home without any gas. There's going to be a gas shortage. The prices won't go up as much, but the thing is that you just won't get it. 50% of people are going to go home and get it. And so who's going to get that gas? Who's going to get that diesel? Either it could be the lucky people, or if you're a little more in tune with how things actually work, you're going to know that the most influential and the most connected people are going to get theirs, and you're not going to get any because you're not as connected as they are. The big corporations, the big politically connected people are going to get their gas and their oil and their all that kind of stuff. And that's what will happen. And then there'll be no incentive for increased production because they're still making the same amount of money. They're not going to be incentivized to double their output. If we want people to drill like crazy, then we need that price to go up so that people, the companies and such like that, and banks will start loaning to these businesses. Most of the fracking companies have been blocked out of getting loans to drill new wells because banks don't want to invest in dirty, disgusting oil and natural gas drilling and fracking. They want to only buy solar panels from China. So what are we going to find here? Something has to give. Either the price has to give and people need to stop buying, but that's going to be very difficult because there's only so much people can cut back their driving. As the price is probably going to have to go up pretty dramatically in order to stop people from driving to work or driving goods across the country. How are they going to do that? Price has to go up pretty dramatically, and that's why we're going to just see the prices squeezed upward, 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 until the demand drops down to meet supply. That's basic economics 101, but watch the government do stupid stuff like price freezing, and they're going to create shortages. That's what they do. People are going to complain to the government that the price of gas is up too much, and then the government is going to start rationing it. That's what they're doing in Venezuela. That's what they do in communist type countries. They ration it, and you only get so much gas, but you only have to pay a regular price for it. But if you want any more gas than that, tough, you're out of luck. Or maybe you have to pay the black market price, which will be way, way, way higher, and the companies won't be incentivized to build new factories. 11 million barrels per day of oil, and then you have natural gas, and we're going to have this go across the market. We have this happening in nickel right now. Most people that buy nickel aren't buying it for funsies. They're buying it because they need it in their manufacturing processes. They need to have that in order to make their product. And usually it's a small percentage of the cost in their main products. They're willing to pay more. So as the price of nickel has gone up, they've just said, we'll keep buying it anyway. We'll just hike a little bit of the prices on our final product. So if demand keeps not going down, the price of nickel continues to skyrocket upwards until the demand declines. And so we call this, when the demand is inelastic, people need the product, like food. When the price of food goes through the roof, it's going to be because people need food. They're not going to be like, oh, well, it's too expensive, I'm not going to buy it anymore. Right? I'm just going to lay here and starve to death because the price is too much. No, they're going to pay it somehow. And so the demand will not decline very much. People are going to become more efficient with their food. They're going to stop eating food that takes up more food, like meat, right? You feed the cows, the beef, you feed them with corn, and it's inefficient. If people just buy the corn directly, they can actually get more calories, right? And so that's going to push a lot of people out of meat. The prices will go up even more on that. But as we see the price spikes, as harvests in the world have been very bad, and if you're watching what's going on with the weather right now, which is being kept hush-hush, it looks like there's going to be really bad harvests going forward. Fertilizer issues, weather issues, things are getting a little cold out there, and they may get colder yet. You might want to look into that if you don't know what I'm talking about. So that's basics. When government gets involved, it's going to get really, really messy, and it's going to cause things to break. And that's what we're seeing right now, is that stores aren't jacking up the prices enough, which is what is creating shortages out there. Things get much worse, those prices are going to have to really start moving really fast. And that's what we see accelerating right now. And as the shortages get worse, the prices are going to just skyrocket through the roof. Please have food prepared. Please have some gas stored up. Start thinking about what you're going to do if the price of gas starts hitting European levels here in the United States. $10, $15 a gallon. Over in Europe, it's already hitting those types of prices. Natural gas. How can you isolate yourself from these prices? We're all trying to figure our way through that. It's hard to get off of gasoline and oil. Buying up products that you need that are made of plastic and petroleum-based things, that's a good way to get off of that price of oil. Food, stockpiling food so that you can get off the price of food. But there's going to be things that are going to hit us. I can't store enough gasoline because it doesn't stay long enough, right? Eventually, you're going to have to use a bike or something, because that's how it goes. All right, stay safe out there. Think through what you're going to do as prices go up on certain things, because that's the market communicating shortages to us. Inflation. But we haven't even talked about the idea of what happens when production costs go up from $50 to $100. Of course, it's going to be passed through. That's happening as well. All right, I'll see you again here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. God bless you all.